And welcome back. It's Tuesday, and what a better place to be than on your computer on our beautiful Bridget link for another Tech 20 Tuesday. I'm Jeff Whipple here in Fredericton, and I am so excited today to have a special guest. And we've had them all through the year, and today it's my good friend Sherry Russell. Sherry is a teacher extraordinaire and techie extraordinaire, and she teaches at School District 10 in St. Stephen. And Sherry today is going to spend some time with us and look at VoiceThread. VoiceThread is another one of those Web 2.0 tools that are out there, and there's just so many cool things that you can do with VoiceThread. But I'm going to let her take us through it. And if you have questions, remember you can put them into the chat window over on the side underneath the little person. Each of you have your little menu up at the top corner. So underneath the person there's a chat menu, or you can open your microphone under the mic and just jump in at any time, and Sherry will be there to answer your questions. I'm going to stop sharing right now, and pretty soon you're going to start seeing Sherry's desktop, and she's going to walk us through Prezi. Sherry, welcome.
Hey, thanks for having me.
Oh, glad to have you. Excited.
Awesome. All right. Well, looking at VoiceThread, I've just been using it a little bit lately. I wanted to share a couple things and I guess ideas that I would have for using it in the classroom, as well as go through a little bit of how to do it. But I know we don't usually go too deep into that in these sessions. So if you have any follow-up questions, feel free to field them, throw them at Jeff or myself, and we'll do our best to answer them after the fact. The VoiceThread that you're looking at right now, I work at St. Stephen Middle School, and I teach grade 6. And at our school, we have a program that's called After School Activity Program. And the program that I have in front of me 2 days a week right now, they're doing animation. So I have some kids who are using bit strips, and I have some kids who are doing some cool 3D kind of animation stuff. And one day last week, we had a really neat gentleman, a former classmate of mine, Skype in and talk to the kids about what he does. He runs a company in Fredericton, and he talked to them a little bit about 3D animation. And I have 3 young ladies in my group that only draw. So I wanted to give them, the chance to share some of what they did with this animation expert that we have. His name is Mike Francis. Anyway, so what we did was, we just chose Claire's to begin with, and we uploaded her art. And we started with students in the class, just being able to make some comments. So just to give you an idea of what a VoiceThread looks like, this is your main kind of thing. You can upload an image, you can upload a video, you can upload a document. And the cool thing about VoiceThread is that it sits right in the middle of the page. It doesn't go anywhere. And the conversation goes on around the outside. So this is Keegan, this is Zach, this is Claire herself explaining it. It's a character that she created herself. So you can put in multiple. So now I have more than one slide of Claire's art. I can click next and go to the next one. So it's really, really interesting that the document stays right in the middle of the page instead of using something like a blog, because when you post on a blog, everything kind of gets pushed down the page. So I guess that's why I like VoiceThread a lot. It holds everything in the middle, and your conversation and discussion goes on all around you. And you can see it'll automatically run from one slide to the next. I should let you know that as an educator, there's 3 different types of accounts that you might want to look at, or 3 ways of using VoiceThread. If I was working at the elementary level, I would probably sign up as myself. But then you can actually build, like right now, this is me. But if I click on me, I can create another identity for myself. So I can actually create identities for each of my students if I was always going to be at the helm of that computer, because you're logged in as yourself. So you don't want students to be, just all logged in under you and running around, running amok and posting whatever. So this way, if you're holding the reins, and let's say you're working with learning centers, and you have students who are going to be working at your desk with you, you can create another identity for each student, and they can, post their comments. I'll show you a little bit. There's a tutorial in here that shows you a little bit more about how one account can create many faces. So it's worthwhile for you to go into VoiceThread at some point and just hit every tutorial button you can. I can embed this one. I can send this one to Jeff to host on the wiki space too. But I like this because it talks to you about how to create that, multiple identity account. So that's step one. Step two, like in my grade 6 area, I have each of the kids sign up as themselves. They use their own NBN account, and therefore when they log in, I see and then they make a comment, I see their identity around the document. The other method that you might want to take a look at is you can actually pay for an educator account, which will allow you to have sub-accounts underneath you. So if you've ever been involved with something like, say, Story Jumper or Bitstrips, when you sign up as an educator, you have like a main account, and then you have like a classroom sub-account. But personally, I've chosen not to go this method because I teach 75 kids, and I believe the maximum, I think it's like 50 for an education account. And so seeing if I work with more students in that, I didn't want to spend the extra money. So I decided to not go that route. But it would be truly awesome if I had extra money to throw at it, because it gives you the option you have a lot of control. You can moderate their comments before they go up on the screen. And you can easily see all of the students in your class with, they're all in that one classroom. So that's pretty awesome. I like that feature a lot. Let me take you in here. Any questions so far? Are we doing okay?
Wonderful.
Okay.
I'm learning lots.
Oh, are you? Nice. All right. So this is Claire. So I just want to show you the different types of comments that you can make. So if I'm in VoiceThread, this is me. I'm flashing your head. That's my nice identity there. So your options are, you can actually make a comment with the phone. Okay. So I can put in the area code. I can make a comment with the phone. That's pretty cool. I can use my webcam to make a comment. And so it will record. If it would transfer through Bridget, you could actually see the video of me right now, so I can make a video comment. And the cool thing, while you're making a video comment, you can choose colors if you want, and I can actually doodle on something. So if you really want to make a strong point, I can say to Claire, I really like how you have some contrasting colors here. I like how you have red in the body of her dress, and you have some strong red out here. So I can actually draw, or I can make an arrow, so you can doodle. And believe it or not, if I decided to upload a video, I can do the same thing. So, oh, that's cool. I'm recording myself again. All right, so I'm going to say cancel on that one. The third method, which is really easy, is you can type. So I can just type a comment. So, and then I just hit save. Very cool stuff. And I can, upload an audio comment that I actually have hidden somewhere else on so let's say I just chose to use my recorder on my machine to record an audio comment. I can then upload the comment to the VoiceThread. Any questions about the 4 types of comments? Or is that all okay?
It's all good.
All good. One thing that I would suggest, if you were going to start to do this with a class, an idea that I stole from blogging. One of the best pieces of PD I saw online one time, someone had described setting up the blogging process with your class by doing it on paper first. So if you were going to teach VoiceThread to a class, see, with a small group like my after-school program, it's fairly simple, and they're in front of me for a full hour. But if I were going to teach it to my classes where I only have them for 40 minutes, I might set up a mock VoiceThread on paper first. So we would take a document or a drawing, or maybe I'll take a picture of a magazine and I'll put it on paper first. And we would take turns around the class posting comments. And this would give me the opportunity to teach the class the importance of giving good, solid feedback, the importance of proper etiquette online, talking about audience, who we're speaking to, the type of voice that we need to use when we're speaking to that specific audience. So I think it would be worthwhile to actually set up a mock exercise in your class first to teach them some different etiquette per se. I wanted to show you, see if I can get in here. This is another idea that I found online. This is a neat site. It won't run the voice thread through Bridget, but this one, what they decided to do on their voice thread is each child had to either find or write a short article about a given subject, and they pasted it into a newspaper generator, and then they downloaded the image of their newspaper clipping. So when they were finished, it looked like a newspaper. Okay, I don't know if you've played with that newspaper generator before, but it's pretty fun. Anyway, so their story actually looks like a newspaper clipping, and then you plunk that in the middle of your voice thread. It's very simple to upload, and the students actually discuss the article around it. So they leave comments around the outside, just like I showed you before. So it could be via text or audio or what have you. But that was one exercise that I thought was pretty cool. Another one that I found that I thought was pretty neat was right here. This site is awesome. I don't know how many of you have been to this one before, but it's VoiceThread for Education. And there's a ton of different things in here, and it's divided up, K to 2, 3 to 5, 6 to 8. Also for administrators. Right now I am in best practices, and there's a really cool slide share in here that has tons of stuff. I love this idea. It's choose your own adventure story. And so what the students are doing, just as you think, I'll pull up the whole thing. They've created their own story, but the idea is, Jeff, let's say my class is starting the story here in St. Stephen, and we write a page together, and we illustrate that, and we post that up, and we do chapter 1, and then we forward that to you, and then your job is to add chapter 2. So, you know, it's a collaborative process. It's an ongoing process. Pretty neat stuff, and I think it could be powerful.
Yeah, I've heard of a lot of schools and teachers who are using VoiceThread as the primary tool.
Sorry, I can hear it, but I can't see it.
What's that?
That was my chapter.
What's that?
It opened, but I said it opened for me, but it didn't open in front. My computer sometimes does this thing where it opens stuff in behind. So there's chapter 1. Yeah,
I see schools using VoiceThread as a primary platform for collaborative projects with international schools all the time now. It's sort of almost replacing blogging, especially at the younger ages.
Well, I think it's because of it's all there in front of you. It's not linear. You know, everything's not pushed down. I started to build one. We had a really cute idea for one. I wish video transferred a little better through Bridget, but I had some really cute kids at Milltown Elementary School, and they were just doing little introductions of themselves, and we sent the voice thread to a school in Nunavut, and it kind of fell through the cracks from there because the school we sent it to didn't have enough broadband to actually respond to it. But the kids did such a great job on it on our end. Like I'd share with you, but I don't think you'd actually be able to see the full video. Anyway, the kids just sort of had it. They were kindergarten. They just said, "Hi, my name is," and they talked about something that they like to do. And so then we were going in and we were trying to get the kids to comment on, well, I like that too, or, you know, just interesting, creating conversations. I don't know. I like the tool.
Yeah, the other thing about VoiceThread is that you can make them private as well, so they're protected if that's an issue with your schools or your parents.
This year, they're starting to talk about procedures. So they have to talk about what goes on another day. So they have to talk about premiere, deuxième, troisième. So I've got them around the school with digital cameras, and they're actually posing themselves in, I guess, certain My Day activities. So they're pretending to brush their teeth. They're pretending to wake up. So anyway, we're going to plunk them all in voice threads and then record their voices explaining to me what it is that they do. And what I find with my second language learners is anytime you have a child listen to their own voice, number one, they'll pick out their own errors, they'll self-edit, and they'll want to correct them, especially if they know that someone else is going to be listening. So I'm hoping that it'll empower them, I guess, a little bit to be the best, I guess, that they can be orally en français. And it also gives me record as their teacher. So at parent-teacher interviews, I can say, look at what your son or daughter just did. This is their pronunciation. I know they're sometimes they struggle a little bit because they think they're only in French second language or post-intensive French, and some of these kids are quite capable, and it just kind of shows them off a little bit, I guess.
Yeah.
In going through online, I had some other ideas. Writing would be very, very strong. VoiceThread lends to writing very easily. It lends to pure editing. It lends to, I was thinking in science, I could do a list of instructions, say for an experiment, step-by-step instructions with images, showcasing what I wanted them to do. In turn, maybe I could get my kids to predict what might happen. So maybe the conversation going around the image is, what is going to happen in this experiment? We have science fair coming up. It would be very interesting to walk through scientific method on a kid's individual project using VoiceThread. And, steps along the way, images along the way. Doing images, I find it's no problem now. Most of us now have access to a document camera. I have one of those, the little small ones, point-of-view cameras. They're, $70. They're not too expensive. We do screen caps of the kids' work all the time with it. Also, my kids in my class are walking around with, their iPod touches, or they have access to a phone. Maybe they're not carrying it in the classroom, but they can take pictures on their phone. So it's really easy to get images. It's not as hard as it was when I was in the classroom 5 years ago. Kids can get them pretty quick.
Yeah.
Other ideas I had, kids could conduct a debate online or state opinion about a topic. And I find it interesting because this is a mechanism that will allow your kids to speak who wouldn't necessarily speak on a normal day. Doing it retail. One thing we do in our school, we have a program called X Class, and it's kind of like music, art, and what have you. My kids take leadership, and they have to set a goal. So they have a personal challenge, and I think that this would be, I'm going to share this with my leadership teacher. I think it'd be a great idea to showcase their personal challenge and the steps that they took along the way to make that. I guess I'm looking at the time here, and I'm at 3:57. Anything in particular that you wanted me to cover that I did not?
No, this has been a great overview of VoiceThread. It really is. It's one of those really cool, powerful tools that we can use to share with our kids.
Okay, I'm looking at 3:57, and I don't know where Jeff is. But where'd you go, Jeff? All right.
I am here.
Yeah, I just wanted to see if there was anything else. Oh, you are there. I can't hear you.
Mike.
Did I miss anything? I'm looking at 3:57. Is there anything in particular that you wanted me to make sure that everyone knew? Someone's breathing heavy. As mentioned before, we can always post up. I'll send all of this information to Jeff that I shared with you today, and we can make sure that you have all the resources available online. But please follow up if you have any questions, and generally there is a tech mentor available to you in your own area. So if you wanted to actually have help in your classroom to set this up, you can have a backup dancer. So if you talk to your local tech mentor, they can definitely help you out. You're welcome. 3:58. The other thing, I was just off the top of my head, I know I'm running amok here, but I was thinking even vocabulary. Going over vocabulary on this. You can have an image up, kids can practice, but it's all in the power of their voice. So, anyway, hope you all got something out of that. And again, I'll forward these instructions, or sorry, not instructions, these resources off to Jeff, and we will post them on the wiki space. Anyway, thank you very much for your time. Your connection died, Jeff. He's on his Mac. All right, well, I hope you had an awesome time, and I think that the next time I'm on, we're doing Storybird. So that will all be cool. All right.
Thanks, Sherry.
Thank you, Jeff. Thank you, Jeff.